I'm sorry, and that brought me to another point that I forgot to ask about, which was accessibility, because a lot of the elders are in rolling wheelchairs. So I guess is that in this, I guess I'm concerned about that is, will anything be able to be changed for that, or will anything affect the ADA if it's already covered?
Sure, yeah, and we had mentioned previously that ADA requirements are built into every development. Every development needs to provide an accessible path from parking and to the right of way and into the building and within the building itself.
Thank you very much.
Well, kind of on that then, like, you know, like this is a very old established area. So if somebody's going to go in and tear down a building and redo it, they kind of have to redo the sidewalks up to the current new proposed widths and things like that. I assume, yes, I see some head nods on, so.
You're asking about infrastructure improvements in the area?
Yeah.
Right,
So,
and there is a whole section of the code that deals with streetscapes and what those sidewalk widths are going to be as appropriate for each street section. And that does include improvements to sidewalks.
so does that happen somewhat patchwork as each property possibly redevelops? Or at some point, will we go in and connect some pieces? Or
I was just going to add is that this is designated as one of our countywide centers. And so it would compete well for at KRCC for transportation funding. So just like we did Pacific Avenue improvements and Washington Avenue improvements with the sub-area plan, we have expectations about what the right-of-ways would look like to create the grand streets for the center. So I think that that's a bigger part in the future, is the city would take leadership, hopefully, to put the main pedestrian boulevards in, just like we did in downtown. So this will be well suited, because it already is well suited. It's already in the adopted plan. Make these streetscapes the pedestrian primary streets and make these improvements, because it'll help the center as a whole in its growth and becoming more pedestrian friendly. So that doesn't change. It's in the plan that's adopted now and as we move forward with the changes.
yeah, thanks. Also, I want to, Jennifer, another comment of yours about affordable housing didn't go unmissed either. And I'm not sure if we can plan it into the plan, but I think that we need to keep that in mind as we move forward. So,
and if you remember, just I take notes about what you say, is that the current code doesn't have any provisions for affordable housing requirements. None of the city's zoning code has requirements for affordable housing, and so the amendments aren't going to change that. The amendments just make it so the plan can move forward. The council did identify a small budget item for development displacement and developing a program for development displacement. It's something that we'll work on this year. Hopefully we'll get that done soon. So we'll be working on those provisions, but then there's other zoning tools for requirement for affordable housing that is going to have to be, in my mind, citywide. It isn't just a center by center basis. We've got to tackle this on a whole city basis and not just in one sub area.
Thank you, Ms. Spencer. I appreciate that.
Mayor Wheeler, I see you're unmuted. Did you want to add anything? Or
oh no, Andrea actually just nailed that part. I'm glad that it was brought up. Is this is you know, obviously it's a blueprint. It's something that you can fill in with code adjustments to protect current affordable housing, to make it, to incentivize it in the future. That's, I mean, we have all the tools to do that. So which is I'm just glad it was brought up. Yeah.
great, thanks. All right, so this will be a public hearing next week. Next, item 8,